All right, everyone, welcome back to Watchdog News. This is Jared Campbell. So I decided to give a really quick report update on what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, Putin, and Trump. So Putin's proposal to Trump, a diplomatic turning point or a strategic delay. So a critical moment in the Ukraine conflict. The ongoing war in Ukraine has taken a new turn as Russian President Putin assured the safety of the Ukrainian soldiers in the Kursk region if they surrendered. This announcement made following a plea from the U.S. President Donald Trump raises hope as well as skepticism about the potential for peace. While some view it as a diplomatic breakthrough, others question whether this is a strategic maneuver by Moscow to consolidate gains and dictate future negotiations. Conflicting narratives. What is the reality on the ground? Putin's statement to Russia's Security Council stressed that Ukrainian forces should lay down their arms, suggesting a potential ceasefire. Trump, in turn, characterized the situation as dire for Ukrainian soldiers, claiming thousands were surrounded and vulnerable. However, Ukraine has denied these claims, stating that its forces have strategically repositioned themselves rather than being encircled. Military analysts are divided. Some, like Michael Kaufman from the Carnegie Endowment, have dismissed the idea of a mass encirclement as a fabrication. At the same time, reports from The Guardian indicate a planned withdrawal of Ukrainian forces rather than an imminent collapse. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev's harsh rhetoric, promising the merciless destruction of any remaining Ukrainian troops, further complicates the narrative. His statement suggests that Moscow is maintaining both an offer of surrender and a threat of continued violence, a dual approach that puts imminent pressure on Ukraine's leadership. Ceasefire prospects, a real opportunity, or is it a tactical ploy? The proposed 30-day ceasefire, primarily driven by President Donald Trump, diplomatic push, is being met with mixed reactions. French President Emmanuel Macron has urged Russia to accept the agreement, emphasizing the importance of international oversight. However, a key challenge remains. Who will monitor the ceasefire and how will violations be handled? Historical precedents such as the OSCE's monitoring of the mixed agreements reveal the difficulties in enforcing truce. Even when thousands of observers, violations were rampant. With a 2,000-kilometer front line today in Ukraine, ensuring compliance would be even more challenging. Technological advancements, including drones, could aid enforcement, but the ceasefire may be short-lived without clear accountability measures. So what are Putin's motives? Seeking peace, or is he buying time? Putin's apparent openness to negotiations contrasts with his list of demands. Ukraine's exclusion from NATO, the recognition of Russian territorial gains, and the demilitarization of Ukraine. These conditions suggest that Moscow is unwilling to accept a ceasefire that does not fundamentally alter Ukraine's geopolitical stance. Strategically, Putin's delay tactics should serve several purposes. 1. Military gains. Russian forces are gradually reclaiming lost ground, particularly in the Kursk region. A ceasefire now would solidify these territorial gains, giving Moscow the upper hand in future peace talks. Number 2, political leverage. The longer the negotiations take, the more pressure Ukraine faces from its Western allies to compromise. Number 3, economic and diplomatic pressures on the U.S. With Trump eager to end the war quickly, Putin may seek concessions from Washington in exchange for cooperation. American analysts have pointed out that Russia's approach aligns with its long-term strategy, wearing down Ukraine and its allies while maintaining plausible diplomatic engagement. With U.S. economic concerns growing, mainly due to Trump's ongoing trade war and market instability, Putin may see an opportunity to exploit American urgency for a resolution, a risky gamble for all sides. While Trump's diplomatic efforts indicate a possible path towards ending the war, the uncertainty surrounding Russian compliance remains a significant risk. If a ceasefire is enacted but poorly enforced, it could lead to further escalations rather than peace. Any ceasefire agreement that does not include security guarantees and a precise enforcement mechanism could be disastrous for Ukraine. If fighting resumes after a temporary pause, Ukrainian forces may find themselves in a weakened position. Meanwhile, NATO allies remain wary of Russia's long-term intentions, fearing that any lull in the hostilities could merely serve as a preparation for renewed aggression. My conclusion to my report: a fragile hope amid deep uncertainty. The coming days will determine whether Putin's assurances are genuine or even part of a broader strategic calculation. This could be a pivotal step towards peace if serious diplomatic efforts ensure a robust and verifiable ceasefire. However, the conflict could become even more dangerous if Moscow uses this moment to regroup and further its territorial ambitions. With all sides holding competing interests and narratives, the world watches with cautious optimism and also with deep concerns. The future of Ukraine and broader European stability may depend on the next move made in Moscow, Washington, and also in Kiev. And that's all I have. It's Watchdog News. And that is your 7-minute report, right? That's everything today as far as what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, wrapped into a 7-minute report. I was on it. Slightly over 7 minutes. But thank you all again for following, right? I love what I do, and I love bringing you guys these updates, right? This is probably the most accurate version that I could probably give with all the intel that's out there. And so I think I've done a good job. Objective to this, thank you all again for following. Remember, stay informed, stay vigilant, stay watchful, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please let me know, right? Let me know what I can do better on the channel as well. Right? Thank you all again. I love you all so much. This is Jared Campbell with Watchdog News. I love you all so much.